Cora steps inside and the atmosphere shifts with her. She says nothing at first. She does not need to. Her presence alone is enough to silence the air. Her eyes go straight to Sybbie, the little girl's trembling hands, her nervous posture. Cora's heart cracks, but her face remains steady. She turns her gaze to Nanny West, and the temperature in the room seems to drop. There is no raised voice, no dramatic gasp. Cora speaks with a softness that feels far more dangerous than shouting. Her words cut quietly like a blade wrapped in velvet. "I heard enough," she says. Nanny West's mouth opens, trying to form an excuse, a lie-y thing. But Cora's expression stops her. The authority in her eyes is stronger than any rank or title. It is the power of a mother who has just witnessed her child's pain. In that moment, the nursery no longer belongs to Nanny West. It belongs to Cora Crawley, and she has come to reclaim it. Nanny West stands frozen, her hands stiff at her sides, as if she hopes that stillness might erase everything Cora has heard. But nothing can soften the truth now. The room feels tight, the air refusing to move. Even the children stay silent, sensing a moment too big for words. Cora steps closer, slow but certain. Her expression controlled in a way that makes her seem almost unreal-like, a calm sea hiding a storm beneath its surface. Her voice enters the room softly, but the softness doesn't comfort. It strikes harder than any shout ever could. "You will explain," she says. Simple words, gentle tone, but they fall like stones. Nanny West opens her mouth, but the words come out tangled. She blames Sybbie's behavior, blames the child's difficult nature, blames anything but her own cruelty. As she speaks, her voice cracks. She tries to sound confident, but her fear bleeds through every sentence. She glances toward the door, toward the servants' staircase. Anywhere she might escape the weight of Cora's stare. But Cora doesn't look away. She stands perfectly still, listening with an expression that reveals nothing but rising disbelief. She watches Nanny West's excuses pile up like broken pieces of a lie, too fragile to hold itself together. Then Cora speaks again, and her voice is quieter, yet somehow deeper, edged with a cold steel that only a mother can summon. "You spoke to her," she says, her eyes flicking towards Sybbie in a way no child should ever hear. "And you spoke about my family with cruelty." She pauses. "I heard it myself." Nanny West freezes. Her face drains of color, and she stumbles over her next sentence, trying desperately to reshape the truth. "My lady, you misunderstand?" But Cora cuts her off with a single steady breath. "No, I understand perfectly." The room falls into a silence so sharp it feels like glass. Cora moves to Sybbie, placing a gentle hand on the child's back. The contrast between that soft touch and her controlled fury makes the moment even more powerful. It becomes clear this is not simply a disagreement. This is a mother protecting her child. Nanny West tries one last escape. She straightens her spine, clinging to authority like a cracked mask. "I was acting in the children's best interest," she insists. Cora turns toward her, and conflict ends in that single glance. "Your employment ends now," she says. No shaking voice, no hesitation. Just a calm, final decision that carries the weight of justice. The words fall like a door, slamming shut. Nanny West's confidence collapses instantly. She blinks, stunned, her mouth hanging open as she tries to understand how quickly everything has changed. But the truth is simple. The moment she harmed the children, she lost her power. The room feels colder now, as if Nanny West's authority has been stripped from the very air. For a moment, she just stands there, staring at Cora with a stunned, trembling stillness. It is the look of someone who never believed the day of judgment would come. She had walked through this nursery like a queen, building rules and walls, placing her cruelty inside quiet corners where she thought no one would ever look. But the walls have finally spoken, and Cora has heard everything. Nanny West tries to gather herself, her breath shaky as she attempts one last desperate push. "My lady, surely you can't mean to dismiss me over a misunderstanding." The children, Cora raises a hand. Just a small, graceful gesture. But it stops Nanny West instantly. "Do not speak of the children," Cora says softly, her voice steady as stone. You lost the right to speak for them the moment you chose to mistreat them. The words hit harder than any shout could. Nanny West swallows, her face tightening with disbelief. She turns toward Sybbie, reaching out as if to prove some false affection. But Sybbie recoils, her small body shrinking behind Cora's skirt. That single movement is more powerful than anything Cora could ever say. It makes Nanny West's mask crack completely. Panic begins to flicker in her eyes. Real panic. The kind that melts pride into fear. Without another word, Cora steps aside and nods toward the hallway. It is a silent command. Leave. Now. Nanny West hesitates, her gaze darting to the door as if hoping anyone will defend her. But no one comes. The servants gather quietly near the staircase, watching with a mix of shock and relief. They have seen hints of her cruelty, fragments of truth, but none dared to speak without proof. Now, the truth stands exposed, shining bright and undeniable. Nanny West straightens her back in a final attempt to salvage dignity. But her hands tremble as she reaches for her coat. The camera follows her movements, the rush stuffing of small belongings into a worn bag, the sharp inhale she takes to steady herself, the slight wobble in her step as she walks past the servants. They do not speak to her. They do not look away. Their silence is its own judgment. As she reaches the end of the corridor, she turns briefly, eyes wide and lost. She looks not at Cora, but at the nursery as if hoping the walls might still protect her. But the nursery no longer belongs to her. Kindness will return to that room, but she will not be part of it. Cora stands in the doorway, holding Sybbie close. She does not gloat. She does not smirk. Her face holds only sorrow and strength. She watches as Nanny West walks down the staircase, her footsteps growing weaker, smaller, fading into nothing. Exactly where cruelty belongs. Outside the home it once tried to rule. The moment Nanny West's footsteps disappear, the house seems to exhale. A quiet peace settles over the nursery, soft and warm, like sunlight returning after a long storm. The room no longer feels tense, no longer cold. It is as though the walls themselves are relieved. Finally freed from the weight of harsh words and silent fear, Cora lowers herself to the floor beside Sybbie, bringing her face level with the child's. The shift is gentle, graceful, filled with a tenderness Sybbie has been starved of in recent days. Sybbie's eyes glisten with leftover tears, but she slowly reaches out, small hands trembling as they touch Cora's sleeve. In that simple gesture, something inside Cora breaks and heals at the same time. She wraps her arms around the little girl, pulling her close, resting Sybbie's tiny head against her shoulder. The nursery, once ruled by fear, now feels safe again. Across the room, baby George watches from his crib, sensing the shift in emotion even if he doesn't understand it. He smiles softly, as if the peace itself has reached him. Cora stands and moves to him, lifting him with practiced warmth. Her arms hold both children with equal affection, no favorites, no divisions, only love. The kind that Nanny West never understood. As Cora rocks George gently, Anna appears at the doorway, unsure if she should enter. Cora glances up and offers a small, grateful smile. She does not need to say the words "thank you" for listening, for telling me, for protecting them. Anna bows her head slightly, moved by Cora's silent gratitude. She has served the Crawley family for years, but today she feels the true weight of loyalty and courage. The camera shifts to the toys scattered across the room. The rocking horse that once felt frozen now seems ready to move again. The cradle looks softer in the warm light. Even the dolls seem to watch over the scene with gentler eyes. A place once filled with quiet suffering is turning back into a home for laughter. Cora lowers the children onto a blanket by the window and sits with them, humming a soft tune. The melody drifts through the nursery, filling the space with warmth. Sybbie leans closer, safe under the wing of a woman who sees her value, her innocence, her worth. For a brief moment, Cora closes her eyes. Not from exhaustion, but from reflection. She thinks of how easily cruelty can hide behind polite smiles, how quickly walls can mask suffering. She thinks of the responsibility that comes with trust. and how dangerous it can be when that trust is placed in the wrong hands. But she also thinks of bravery. Anna's, Sybbie's, her own. The camera slowly pulls back, capturing the soft glow around the three of them. Peace finally restored. Later, as evening falls, the light outside turns a gentle gold. A breeze passes the windows, carrying a calm that feels like a promise. Downton Abbey stands tall and quiet, no longer holding a secret between its walls. Cora's voice, steady and warm, breaks the silence with a final truth. Kindness is not a choice. It is a duty. And with that, the chapter closes not with anger, but with healing. The nursery is safe again. The children are loved again, and the house at last can breathe in peace. A quiet house can hide the darkest secrets, and inside the walls of Downton Abbey, a single voice, cold and sharp, will shatter the peace of a noble home. Today, we step into the moment when Cora Crawley discovers the truth that changes everything. And in Nanny's cruel patha, afternoon light slips through the tall windows of Downton Abbey, soft and golden, but something about the air feels heavy. The house is quiet, too quiet, as if holding its breath. The camera drifts down the long corridor leading to the nursery, its floor wrapped in shadows and scattered with the faint echo of footsteps long gone. This is usually a warm corner of the house, filled with tiny laughs, little hands, and gentle songs. But today it feels different, cold, distant, as if happiness has been pushed out of the room. The door to the nursery is slightly open, just enough for a sliver of darkness to spill out. Inside, no sound comes from the children, not a giggle, not a cry only. The faint rustle of fabric, like someone moving quickly and trying not to be heard. The silence doesn't feel peaceful. It feels wrong. It feels like fear. The camera glides over small toys placed neatly on a shelf. A rocking horse standing frozen, a tiny cradle sitting still in the corner. Everything looks perfect, almost too perfect, as if arranged to hide the truth. The light touches the edges of a doll's porcelain face. It's making its glass eyes seem alive and aware of the tension inside the room. Whispers travel through the hallways, soft, worried voices from passing servants. They sense something is not right. Lately, even the children have seemed unlike themselves, quiet when they should be playful, distant when they should reach for comfort. Rumors have begun to float through the servants' quarters like smoke. Rumors about Nanny West, about her tone, her temper, her strange way of dividing the children, as if one deserves affection and the other does not. And now, that uneasy silence sits like a weight on the air. As the camera moves closer to the nursery door, the shadows deepen, stretching as if warning us of what waits behind the wood. A small thud breaks the quiet, nothing loud but sharp enough to make the heart jump. Then, more silence, the kind that makes you lean in, listening for anything that will explain it. Downton Abbey may be grand, it may be beautiful, but even the grandest homes cannot hide darkness forever. And behind this door, the truth is about to step into the light. WER crumbles in an instant. Something shifts in Downton Abbey long before anyone speaks a word. It begins quietly, so quietly that most people would miss it. But the house notices. The staff notices. Even the walls seem to sense the tension that has settled like cold mist on a warm day. The children, once full of bright energy, have changed in a way that makes the servants share silent looks over their chores. Little Sybbie clings to her toys as if they can protect her. George, usually cheerful, avoids eye contact when Nanny West enters the room. It is a small change, but small changes often hide big truths. Downstairs in the servants' hall, the mood has grown uneasy. There are moments when the chatter stops the second someone mentions the nursery. The maids trade worried glances but dare not speak too loudly. After all, Nanny West wears her authority like armor. She walks with sharp steps and a colder smile, as though she believes kindness is a weakness, and children must earn affection, like soldiers earning rank. To the staff, she is not cruel in an obvious way. Her cruelty is subtle, like a blade hidden in lace. Upstairs, Lady Cora remains unaware of the full truth. She sees flashes of discomfort on Sybbie's face. Here's George's unusual silence, but mothers often expect the best from those trusted with their children. She assumes Nanny West is strict, nothing more. After all, Downton has always depended on capable caretakers. But the unease is growing too big to ignore. Slipping through cracks, carried in whispers, rising like a storm that everyone feels but no one dares name. And although Cora does not yet know it, every instinct inside her has started to sharpen. She feels the pull of something hidden, the tug of something not right. A mother's senses stir long before her mind catches up. The nursery itself has changed too. Once a place of warmth, it now carries a strange quiet, almost like a warning. Toys that used to be scattered now remain untouched, placed neatly, as if the children fear making a mess. The rocking chair, once gently used during bedtime stories, sits motionless. Even the air feels different inside the room, heavy, stiff, controlled. Everyone notices, except the one person who should fear the truth the most, Nanny West. She believes she is untouchable. She believes the Crawley family will never suspect her. Her confidence grows into carelessness. Her carelessness becomes dangerous. Because in a house filled with people, secrets never stay silent for long. And soon, someone will witness what the children could not put into words. Someone who will force open the door to truth. The storm is coming. And Cora Crawley, though she doesn't know it yet, is about to stand right in the center of it. The truth does not arrive loudly. It comes as a whisper, soft, almost frightened, and it finds the one person brave enough to listen. It begins on a late afternoon when Anna heads upstairs to check on the children. She walks quietly, carrying freshly folded clothes, the soft fabric pressed against her arms. She expects to hear laughter or tiny footsteps. Instead, she hears something else. A voice. Hard. Sharp. Nothing like the sweet, warm tone a child should ever hear. Anna pauses at the top of the stairs, her heart catching. She hears Nanny West speaking, but the words are wrong, twisted like a cruel hand tightening around a delicate branch. Her voice drips with bitterness as she scolds Sybbie not for misbehavior, but for simply existing in a way she disapproves of. The words sting even through the wall. They are cold, cutting, meant to wound. Anna's breath stills. Her fingers tighten around the folded clothes. She steps closer, her shoes silent on the rug as she reaches the nursery door. It is open just a crack, just enough for her to see the shadow of Nanny West standing over the little girl. Sybbie's small shoulders shake as she holds back tears. Her eyes cast down as if she has learned that looking up only brings more pain. But Nanny West is not finished. She turns her attack towards something deeper, something crueler. She spits out insults about Sybbie's background, her father's past, the very blood she carries. Words no child should ever hear. Words meant to divide, to make one child worthy and the other less. And all the while, baby George sits quietly in his crib. Confused by the tension, but too young to understand the poison in the room, Anna feels a heat rise inside her anger. Disgust, disbelief. She knows strictness. She has seen discipline. But this is something darker, something hateful. She steps back, her heart pounding. She must act, but she must also be careful. A mistake could make things worse. She turns, moving quickly yet quietly down the corridor, her breath trembling as she heads straight to find Lady Cora. But the house seems to know the truth as well. Every step Anna takes feels like the walls are urging her forward, as if they have waited too long for someone to open their eyes. As she rounds the corner, she sees Cora walking toward her, calm and graceful as always, but the moment their eyes meet, Anna's expression tells her something is wrong. Anna does not need many words. Her voice shakes as she explains what she heard. Cora's face changes, not with panic, but with a deep, controlled fire. Her steps quicken. Her breath shortens, not out of fear, but out of a mother's rising fury. And in that moment, the calm surface of Downton Abbey begins to crack. Cora Crawley is on her way to the nursery, and Nanny West is about to meet the truth she thought she could hide. Cora does not run. She does not shout. She moves with a quiet, steady pace, almost too calm for someone who has just been told her child has been hurt. But her silence is powerful. It is the kind that makes the air shift, the kind that warns a storm, is walking down the hall in silken pearls. Her heels tap softly against the floor as she approaches the nursery, each step controlled, each breath measured. But beneath her calm surface, something fierce is rising, something sharper than anger, heavier than disappointment. It is a mother's instinct, ancient and unstoppable. The hallway seems to hold its breath as she nears the nursery door. A faint sliver of light leaks from the gap, but the shadows around it feel dense, as if the room itself is trying to hide the truth. Inside, Nanny West's voice continues low and bitter, spilling out words that do not belong in a child's world. She believes she is alone. She believes no one hears. Her tone drips with judgment, dividing children as if love must be rationed, as if affection is her personal kingdom to grant or deny. Cora pauses just outside. Her hand hovers over the door, fingers trembling not with fear, but with contained fury. Her expression hardens, her jaw tightening, as she hears one final cruel phrase fall from Nanny West's lips. That is the moment the calm breaks. Cora pushes the door open. The room freezes. Nanny West turns sharply, her face draining of color. She knows immediately she has been caught. The confidence she always carries falls away in an instant, leaving her stiff and small under Cora's gaze. Sybbie, still teary-eyed, looks up in surprise. George shifts in his crib, sensing the change in the room.